All right, guys. Sorry about that. We are live now with Hub Campaign Week 2, joined by Michael, David, and Jim. I am, of course, GM Arthur Perkins, and we have an interesting adventure for you here tonight. It sounds like the party wants to go back to the town of Narsh and finish what they started. Jim, how have you been since last Thursday? You're not in any of my other shows, I had to remember that. How have you been since last Thursday?
I'm doing well, keeping busy at work, and looking forward to going on another random, wacky adventure, having some world exploration good times.
All of those things will happen. That's what I have to say on that matter. David, how are you? You were part
I
of
am
the
doing
original Hub first launch that failed horribly. So I'm glad to have you back.
The
Drownless.
fires were visible from several counties away.
That's true. That's true. Who are you bringing to the table this week for us?
I am bringing Chris, a urchin who grew up in the tough streets, but managed to earn his own rights by learning how to beat things up terribly until they stop complaining. He believes that everybody should have a chance to prove their worth, whether they are rich or not, as long as they have the muscle to back it up. Exactly.
He's from the streets. Michael,
Sir,
how are you this week, sir?
fantastic.
I think Jim was the one who recommended you show up on this show.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us about yourself and about Geth there.
Well, Mr. Geth Calabra, he has been a kind of wandering hedge mage out in the wilderness off to the east and has decided to rejoin some civilized society to further some personal goals of his.
Interesting. And you're actually the first person who's played a human from the East.
Yes.
So you're the first non-imperial citizen that we might be seeing here. All right. So it's been one day since we left off last. Kyron, of course, your room and meal last night were free, courtesy of you bringing back a mostly intact pig, missing some of the fleshier parts, you know, where you might stick a box inside. Oh, my apologies, you guys brought an actual real
We
pig.
had decoy pig.
Yeah, you had the decoy pig,
And-
yep. So, you know, you got a free room and board for the night, no pay, and you had some meat to go along with your traditional elven vegetables and fruits.
In fact, I believe I owned 4/5 of
Oh,
the
yes, you own quite a bit of that pig.
everything but the head, which went to Felton.
And, yeah. We have two more adventurers who have joined you in your tavern this morning. The rest of your adventure mates, those who have taken the drugs, are nowhere to be found, perhaps sleeping off the night's exertions.
Gotta watch that Presto, man. Gotta
That
watch
Presto.
that Presto.
So, Chris, Geth, can you describe yourselves to those farmers and to Kyron who wait for you downstairs near the table?
Well, Chris is looking like he's ready for trouble, having an axe strapped onto his back and possibly way too less of a shirt. Somebody please get this man a shirt. But not that this seems to bother him very much, and seeing somebody else lurking around the tavern, he moseys over in that general direction. Ah, where are you heading off to today? Son that has money?
Made myself a commitment yesterday to help the nearby farming village, and I got sidetracked. But you know, it was a good sidetrack. Brought back this pig, made Hub happy. But now I got to go my obligation.
Pig? Well, good eating at least.
Were you not
So-
here for dinner last night?
Huh? What? That was you? Huh. Good stuff. Pig tasted all right. So what are you doing out there? Something that needs muscle? Something that pays?
I don't know if you saw the job board over there, but looks like they're paying 10 gold pieces a day for some good old-fashioned hard labor.
Ah. Yeah, I always thought that was a lot of money, for just labor. Figure there's probably something crazy out there. Want to find out?
Sure.
So, Geth, where do you come into all this?
Geth is sitting there in his robe, kind of face half masked. And he's just working out some formulas, some arcane formulas, and some light chanting. When your guys' conversation kind of half interrupts him, he takes notice. Mostly at the mention of coin. And he moseys over. He says, coin, 10 gold a day. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what it says on the job board.
Could you use another hand?
Does not seem to suggest that there is any lack of labor needed, so I see no reason why we wouldn't.
Hey, you got any muscles on those arms?
Oh, so good.
When you say that, you'll notice Chiron is not the most muscular of fellows.
That's exactly why he's asking. He's already stuck with one person who doesn't look at the any muscles.
Geth is just tall. He's standing about 6'4".
Well, I'm not going to carry the both of you. They want us to do some heavy work. Lifting, tossing, whatever. Bashing in skulls. I don't care.
Bashing in skulls? No. No.
You don't
10
go
gold
for that.
pieces a day? No. I'll be surprised if we don't find a skull to bash somewhere along the lines.
Even if it's just a precious little animal skull.
Yeah, that works for me.
So there's a particularly well-dressed half-human sitting a few tables away from you. He almost seems to be aristocratic, but he raises his cup towards Chris and says, "Ah, you are here to crush skulls, my friend.
Yeah. It's like you're reading me, right?
You
Like
will
I'm a
need
book
to
or
be
something.
very prepared if you head to the village of Nash. Perhaps you have not heard.
Oh, what haven't I heard?
Such information costs coin, my friend." And he like takes a necklace out of his vest and places it there. And it's unusual. He's a half-human, but he's wearing the necklace of a caravan master of the Gnomish Collective. The scales.
Another sprinkle pop caravan?
He's half elven, half human.
The symbol, though, is he part of the mafia?
All of the Gnomish Collective all have the same symbol, the balance scales.
Tell me, did you take that from a body, or did you earn the emblem?
He says, I suppose you do not recognize me then.
I do not.
I am called Merchant. All of
Wait.
my order are. We have sworn the ancient oaths. Around here, the locals call me Crushed Throat. And he kind of pulls down his collar, and you can see that there's like a rope burn around his neck, where he must have been hung once.
Ah, see, here I thought for a second it meant you were able to crush somebody's throat, but no, looks like they beat you to it.
My friend, ask yourself this. If I was hanging at the time that I received this, how do you think I survived?
Good friends.
A half-human has no friends in this world.
So give a little bit of a shrug. Well, you're claiming you got information we really want to have. How much does this information happen to run us?
So, he takes out a deck of cards and begins shuffling them with both hands, and he's flipping cards through the hands while shuffling. It's clear that he's very skillful at this. And he says, "It will cost you a mere 10 gold pieces to know what I know about the town of Narsh. Or perhaps you would like to play a game of chance against me. Then it will cost you nothing but your dignity.
What is the game?
Highest card.
I can try that. 10 gold pieces is all I got. Guy's got to buy some lunch, you know.
If you would rather not risk your gold, excuse me, I would be happy to also wager up the game of chance on the behalf of, engage in the game of chance on behalf of our collective.
I'm not going to stop you from throwing your money away. Have at it.
No, I am not going to throw my money away.
Oh.
I will simply beat him at his game. I look at him, I give him a look.
He says, my friend, it has been a long time since someone has beaten a merchant at his game.
Are you ready to lose then, Mr. Crushed Throat?
Geth is highly amused at this exchange.
So he takes the cards, slams them together, pulls his hands away, and there's one deck that's formed there, floating in the air somehow. And then he slaps his hands down on the table, and the deck is there. He says, please, my friend, if you would like to draw the top card, we shall see who comes away with the better.
I would like to raise the stakes.
So he chuckles slightly at this and begins playing with his oiled beard and says, perhaps you have a touch of the merchant in you. What would you wager?
I would challenge you to my game, and we will put your information in addition to the 10 gold on the line.
He says,
I will wager 20. You wager your information and 10.
what is the game you wish to play?
Dice. And I put a set of dice on the table.
He takes out a set of dice as well and says, very well, we shall each throw our dice then.
I roll.
Highest roll then. Let's begin.
Doesn't have muscles. He's got balls.
That he does.
Oh,
So-
so good.
As you saw from my character sheet, Arthur,
Yep.
I of course have a set of weighted dice.
Yep, that's true. They'll give you advantage on this roll.
What are we rolling? Is it D20?
You also will gain inspiration out of this, as it's your favorite scheme, right? Sleight of hand for con tricks.
Yes.
You're rolling dexterity, and given that you have a tool for this, I'm guessing you have proficiency.
I do have. So I'm rolling a sleight of hand check with advantage.
Yep.
Is there a way to do advantage inside roll 20, or do you just roll twice?
Yep, like how I just rolled it. Oh, that didn't work right.
Seems wrong now.
2d20, is it 2d20 keep highest 1 plus 6? That worked correctly. That's how you do it.
Okay.
But you rolled a 13.
I did. I have a 19 on the die.
That is my. That is not, of course, that is sleight of hand is a skill.
So he slams his dice under a cup, and when he brings the cup up, 4 of the 5 dice are 6s.
So it looks like I got a 15.
Okay. So he takes your, you wagered 20 coin?
Yeah.
He swipes up your 20 coin from the table and says, my friend, it seems that your dice did not favor you today. And then he slams his hand on the table. All of your dice roll up on 6s because they're weighted, and so do his. And then he sweeps them up and back into his pocket and says, I see that we think much the same way, my friend. I will warn you once more, do not go to Narsh. It will not end well for you. If you have not spoken to the bartender on this issue, it would be wise.
We should speak to him of the dangers, or we should not speak to him of the job.
I believe as the job is listed, you must speak to the bartender anyway. He will tell you of what you might see there. I shall leave you now, as I have business up in the other town of Kithajash. But good day to you, friends.
Well, have a good one.
So he strides out of the room, juggling 20 gold pieces between his hands and whistling a jaunty elven tune.
I shall wander over towards the barkeep. Hey, what's up with that job? The one for 10 gold pieces a day. Something crazy out there or something?
He says, you heading to Narsh then?
Might be. What the hell's out there has got that guy all spooked?
He says, that might not be the job for you, my friend.
What's that?
Aye, 'tis a terrifying job of epic proportions. If you're going at it alone, well, perhaps you could do it, but if you're logging along those two, Hey, he looks at Geth, he says, that one, maybe he could do it, but Chiron there, this isn't his kind of job.
It's just a job for good, strong muscles.
He says, he looks kind of suspicious for a moment and says, yes, you will need strong muscles to get through this job. Of that I can guarantee.
You haven't exactly given me the straight answer here. What the hell's out there?
He coughs slightly into his hand and says, aye, lad, there is the town of Narsh.
Yeah, that's great. They got like a great big bubbling fountain or something. Bunch of naked ladies dancing.
If you will not heed my warnings, all I can say is do not go. There are things we do not talk about inside these walls.
Fine then. And point over at the job board. Which of those do you say we should try then?
He says, well, if I was an adventurer, which clearly I'm not, I'd be going to the dojo, getting some of that mystical training from the humans what survived the exile.
Yeah, that doesn't sound so bad. They got muscles with the magic.
We could do both. One right after the other.
I'm not sure any one man is meant to hold that kind of power.
Well, good thing there are three of us to share it.
Very well then. All the dojo wants is some strong fighters to show up for their stupid little dojo, right?
We are probably ill-equipped for that, are we not? As the barkeep says, we are ill-equipped to help with a harvest. We are certainly ill-equipped to fight in a dojo.
He looks at you and says, well, you didn't ask what I thought you could do. You asked what you thought I would want to do.
Well, barkeep, what do you think we could do?
Well, it's a bit shady, but you could take that research associate job. The other thing to keep in mind, though, lad Chiron, is that I've already marked your name down for the job. You're already expected in Narsh. Yesterday, in fact.
Yeah.
In fact, I was a little surprised to see you walk in here with a whole pig.
4/5 of a pig.
You left commitments unfinished.
It's somewhat a shame for you. Does he have to take up on it then? And he's put his little name down.
The bartender shrugs his shoulders and says, once you leave Hub, there's no law out there, son. All that you have is a man's word, so, I mean, it depends. I won't be faulting you if you don't go to Narsh for sure, but will you fault yourself?
Then we should go to Narsh.
or I will be one day.
Well, who gets the report of the names, when you put them down?
So, I'm sorry, what was the question? Gets the...
Does somebody get these names or something? Is there a letter sent? What?
He says, oh, I sent a carrier out just to make sure them boys yesterday was okay.
Ah. Well, turn to the new person. Sucks to be you. What do you want to do about it?
I think that the decision has been made for me. I am expected in Irish, and I must oblige my obligations, or fill my obligations.
Oblige my obligations, yes. That's one way to put it.
As I said, I will be a man of honor someday.
Someday.
An
Somehow.
aspiration is that.
I just realized I shuffled this deck like 8 times, and I keep putting the same card on the bottom of the deck.
Nice.
So bad. So you're setting out for Narsh again?
If my patriots will accompany me, I feel that traveling beyond the safety of pub by myself would be unwise.
See, showing off my muscles for people, that sounds like a really good job, but whatever.
I cannot predict my own behavior if I were to set out on my own.
Are you crazy or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, alright, I'll put it this way. I can predict my behavior. You put a beer in front of me, I drink it. You put money in front of me, I get a little richer. Somebody insults my mother, they get punched in the face. Simple.
This man has some principles.
I like the way you think, Chris. I like the way you think.
Yeah, so what is this now about you can't predict your own actions or something like that?
Oh, don't worry about that. It'll be fine.
Perhaps the most terrifying thing one adventurer can say to another. Don't worry about that. It'll be fine.
Alright, so, just making sure I'm clear on this.
I'm simply saying that it would be better for me to not travel alone anymore. I make bad decisions when I do that.
I make bad decisions when I don't drink, and I haven't drank a damn thing today. No wonder I'm considering going with you.
The barkeep pulls you up a morning beer, very light, only 8% alcohol content.
A little namby-pansy, but it'll do.
I will buy him another one.
Now we're talking.
Of quality.
You're getting higher up on my list.
How much is a quality?
The bartender waves it aside. You've got some credit built up for the pig.
Excellent. Now, are you perhaps more willing to let my past be my past, friend, Chris?
I don't know nothing about being friends. We're going to go to this, sounds like, haunted town that nobody even dares to speak of. You might as well get it over with. I'll have an eternity to haunt you.
I turn to the barkeep. Is it haunted?
Well, not as such, no. At least not wise last time I checked.
I'm filled with confidence. Come on. Hey, you coming? Looking over at Gith. Great. We can all die together. That'll save them some time when they're digging.
All right. So, you guys are prepared to set out?
Yes.
As prepared as we're gonna get.
So you know that Narsh is about 30 miles east by northeast. I need a party marching order. Who's going to be first rank, and then who's going to be in whatever other ranks you decide. And someone will need to make a survival check to get you there.
I have a whole +1 survival. Score.
The way it
else?
sounds, I may serve best in the middle rank.
I will happily take the lead.
My survival is a +2.
As is mine.
Well, your +2s are better than my +1.
Shall I roll?
I don't suppose I should ask, can you get a map of the area from this place?
It's
Isn't there a
illegal to
tape?
make a map of the Eastern lands.
Ah,
Only a heretic and one who is not a citizen of the Empire would want such a thing. Don't you agree?
of course. Yeah, whatever.
I like how Jim gets it close and starts winking. You guys, of course, have your own map that's been carved out.
That's what I
Those
just.
that
what about
take care of
the
it.
Harsh on the table, which is not. Oh, you've just switched up.
Yes, I have.
I was just checking if that might, if some sort of map might give a bonus to that survival check.
Since only you can edit the table, as I understand it.
Well, you guys can draw stuff on the map, right? You have draw rights.
Oh, is that the paint tool or the
Yep.
paintbrush tool?
Yes, in fact, many of those marks were things that I made last game.
Yes.
Oh, really? The squiggles are the.
Yes, all of those horrible squiggles.
Okay. Is Narsh
It's amazing.
the table? I'm assuming no.
Marsh is not currently on the table. No one's ever been there.
And it's. Do we know which direction it is?
East by northeast. 30 miles.
How big is a square?
6
Six.
miles.
So it's somewhere over here-ish.
That's south.
No, it'd be somewhere over here.
It's south? Oh. Where's the compass wheel when I need it?
This
The compass is the actual compass.
So it would presumably be there.
Oh, see, I think
That
south. I
looks
think
pretty
down here.
northeast.
You said east by northeast, didn't
Yes. Oh, you know what? I did say that. It's northeast by east. Slightly above east.
you?
There
Oh,
we go. Wow, I fucked that up. My apologies.
Gee, this is why I only have
Slightly
+1
above
to survive.
east.
so it's more like here-ish.
Perhaps. Somewhere in that general direction.
That's why I said here-ish.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the ish.
But can you make it there? Someone will need to make a survival roll.
I think I have been there.
It would seem that you have been in that direction before, sir. You can even make it there at the fast speed that will be required to get there before the end of the day.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Shall we make haste?
Absolutely.
So, Kyron, can you roll a D100 for me?
I can. $33.
Okay. And, David, can you roll a 2d6?
2d6? Oh boy! I have a comfortably average roll. Actually, I guess that's a
All right. You're about 6 miles out of Narsh. When along the roads to Narsh, you and to call them roads compared to the Great Elven Empire would be foolishness, as they are little more than wagon ruts along the dirt trails. But you encounter a overturned coach, from which 2 men spill out of, arguing over the broken wheel. 2 more men wander along the perimeter with crossbows loaded, looking around. What would you guys like to do?
Best we avoid these men.
Hey! What's up with your car? It's on the wrong
Apparently
way.
not.
So, both the crossbowmen turn in your direction and, raise their crossbows. They're not pointed directly at you, but they're in your general direction. and they begin like making hand gestures at you. The two men who are arguing outside the overturned coach don't even notice this. And one of the men approaches slightly forward to the other, and he says, "Traveler, what are you doing here?"
Going through to the town. What's up with your cart? It's on the wrong way.
He says, "What is your purpose here?"
Is the town within view at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 miles away. You'd probably see like chimney smoke coming up from some places, and
I shall
maybe
point
there's
to
a
the
house at
chimney
outskirts.
smoke. We're headed that way.
He says, "I ask again, what is your business in Narsh?"
Yeah, it's supposed to help with the harvest.
He says, "Oh, you're here for the harvest job, huh?"
What do you... You're hiding something, obviously. What do you want?
He says, "What?"
Yes, that wink thing.
My name is Chiron, and I believe you should have received a missive to the effect that I had already had committed myself to the town.
Says, "Oh yeah, we heard about Chiron. You're bringing 3 others with you, right?"
I can't speak to that.
Yeah, well, he's got 2. It's almost as good as 3.
The 2 guys with crossbows lower their crossbows and look at each other, just kind of shrug, and the one in the back goes, 2 is almost as good as 3, and the one in the front's just like, "You're a fucking moron." He says, "Okay, you boys pass. Nothing to see here."
We be reporting to about the harvest.
He says, "Oh, you'll want to speak to the mayor of Narsh.
All right.
Just ask around, you'll find her."
Your cart's still the wrong way. Do you need any help with that?
He says, "As a matter of fact, we could use some help getting it up."
So I shall approach the cart.
Okay, the 2 young men are still arguing outside of it. As you get closer, you notice one of them has the pointed ears of a half-human.
I shall look at them. Hey, you want to help move this thing up?
The half-human turns towards you and says, "Of course. Why don't you lift it up for me? Can't you see I'm busy?"
I can see that you're busy not moving this cart.
He says, "Well, of course I'm not moving the cart. It's my freaking cart."
That did not make any sense at all.
He
Look
turns
over
toward
my
the
friends.
2
Did that make any
crossbowmen-
sense?
Turns
We-
toward the crossbowman and says,
We could go around the cart.
Huh?
Second crossbowman says, "He's right. They could go around the cart." And the first one's just like, "Shut the fuck up."
Right, well, since nobody's being of any assistance, I shall still take it as an opportunity to test out my muscles.
Okay. Let's see those muscles tested then.
Huzzah. Let's see, do I have a button for that? I do have a button for that.
Wow, 21, really?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. I
It's
think
'cause
your
I was
character
probably
has something about
fueled with
strength,
beer.
right? Am I wrong about this?
I'm proficient in it.
No, I thought you had a trait relating to it. I might be wrong.
I'm alert as a crazy
Okay.
thing.
Right.
One trait I did have was I bluntly say what other people are hinting at or hiding, which I've already been doing.
I'll give you inspiration for
What the
that.
hell was that wink?
Yeah, I'll give you inspiration for that. You certainly played that pretty well. So, with a little bit of help from the crossbowmen, who kind of sling their weapons across their chests using a series of ropes, they help you tip the cart back up where it's supposed to be. Sorry, coach. And the half-elven man snaps his fingers and a pair of horses appear out of the mist. He's like, "It's time to be on our way then." And he steps back into the coach and he closes the door in the face of the second man he was speaking with.
They always like that.
Who are you speaking to? The crossbowman?
Yes.
Are you speaking to crossbowman 1 or crossbowman 2?
Crossbowman 2 seems to have some idea of what the hell's going on.
So crossbowman 1 says, I'm new to this. I don't know what he's on about, but he'll get his soon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One wanting to
No.
say shut the fuck up, or is that Crossbowman 2?
Crossbowman 2 is the one who like repeats what other people say, and crossbowman 1 is shut the fuck up.
Okay. This is important for my notes.
Okay. I should note that for David and for Michael. If you'd like to take notes and then post them on the hub mailboard at the end of the session, you can get 5% more XP towards your level. And
Oh,
then everyone
fancy.
can read your in-character notes.
Ah.
This seems like a perfect time with all these viewers to plug the fact that they too could be joining in on all the fun we're having here at Hub if they'd simply go to the bottom of my profile page and look at the Would You Like to Join the Hub campaign. We're accepting guest stars for Thursday nights. So, these two magical horses that take the coach off with the two crossbowmen. The one gentleman who was in the car is now on top of it, and the half-human inside, who just generally is looking very haughty towards you and sneers as he passes by. And you continue on the road, as if nothing at all had ever happened. Until, with the setting sun, you finally reach your way into the town of Narsh.
What a cheap ass. You didn't even pay me for that.
Is my indication of Narsha's incorrect? Are we actually in the wrong hex?
You're one hex short. You need to be up and right one. You had your encounter there in the party square.
There you go.
Okay, you've reached Narsh. So, as the sun is setting, the fireflies come out, and they almost seem to light a path towards Narsh for you, where a number of young children are running around with, like, rice paper lanterns with flames inside them, and they're just like, yeah, wee. And there's a general clamor of various musicians practicing on both stringed and wood instruments. And you see one enormous, hugely obese man preparing like a timpani, like a huge drum set. And he's like, bum, 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 bum. And someone notices you and comes over in a toga-like robe and slicks back his hair and says, I am Councilman Philos. May I ask what you are doing in the humble village of Narsh, my friends?
This is a party? This looks like a party.
He says,
we're...
It is a celebration. The aid from the Elven Empire has arrived recently. Now that we have finished showing obedience to the Empire. And he says that with a very strange look. He says, we shall now feast upon our dignity.
Tell me, Councilman, what was your obedience?
He says, you do not seem to be a citizen of the Empire to me, friend.
That I am not.
Perhaps you have seen such obediences before.
Krista sort of shrugs and is like, what? I don't... What?
The councilman looks around and says, this is not the place to hold such a discussion.
Yeah.
Perhaps
We're
my
here
home
for the
would be
harvesting
better
job.
suited.
What's up with that?
He says, will you follow me back to my home, or I can explain such things to you if you are unaware of them.
Certainly. Would you like to accompany us, Chiron and Chris?
Krista sort of shrugs.
Will accompany you.
Yeah, sure. I love discussing political intrigues.
So he whistles, and a young boy comes running over, and he speaks a bit of Dwarven to the boy. Does anyone speak Dwarven?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So he's like, Spetsiba, Nakolinaya, Stolish, давай. And sends the boy off, who goes running and calling for more young children to help him. And then the councilman, Philos, turns and says, follow me. You will be expected, Chiron. And he
Ah.
leads you across
Expected
town. Sorry, what?
Expected by whom?
he chuckles and turns and walks across town mysteriously, or like a jackass, depending on your point of view.
So, when do we get to that harvesting job?
He says, "Yes, harvesting. We will speak of this thing at my house."
Alright, let's get to it.
So as you travel through town, the center of the square has like a well, and around it are placed a number of baskets with dried foods and buckets of water, like a large kegs of ale and wine, and cartons containing what appears to be the elven symbols for medical supplies. And many of the people seem happy to look upon those things, but others stare at them and seem bitter and upset. And as you pass this well fountain, Philo says, "In here, quickly, before anyone starts asking questions." He gestures to this very simple-looking shed.
This is your home?
He says, "Let us say yes."
Yeah, whatever.
You... Okay.
"Please, step inside. I insist."
You first, please.
"Oh, but of course." So he opens the door. Inside it's completely black. And he says, "No lights, please. Watch your step on the staircase." And he begins walking, and he seems to be swallowed by the darkness as you see him, like, descending step by step.
Then I will follow.
Okay.
I can't see. Damn it. How can I punch things if I can't see them?
One foot in front of another.
That does not work on stairs.
Kyron, are you following your fellow adventurers down this dark staircase into the earth?
I will give them a moment, mutter under my breath, I will mutter under my breath, melu, how do you say?
Metafa?
Melu, yes. Protect me, and walk in.
Okay, so the camera zooms in on you as you say that, and you begin walking down into the darkness of the earth, and your eyes go blood red, and like a tear of blood comes out the side of one, and you have like this hazy dark vision. It only extends about 5 feet, but it makes it easier for you to get down the staircase.
Of course it does.
And when all of you reach the bottom of the stairs, a sudden bright light flares on, and there are 3 men and 2 women standing before you. One of them is Councilman Philos. All of them wear these togas and sandals, and they all seem to be middle-aged or older.
Sorry, that was 3 men, 2 women?
3 men, 2 women. One of the women extends her hand toward Chiron and says, "I am the mayor of Narsh. I suspect you are Chiron."
Yes, that is his name.
Oh, we lost Jim.
Oh.
So she turns her hands toward Chris and says, "Your friend seems to be having a connection problem. I suspect it's too much pax with elder gods."
He may be disputing his contract with his agency.
May I ask your name, travelers?
I'm Chris. I'm here to lend some muscle. I'm told you're supposed to be harvesting something.
Yes.
So far all we're harvesting is darkness.
Oh, there is much darkness to harvest, my friend.
It's hard to pick up.
She turns toward Geth and says, "My, aren't you tall? My grandson would be lucky to one day grow as big and strong as you are."
I am a mage native to these lands.
She says, then you know a bit of what I'm about to speak as soon as your warlock stops pissing himself.
No promises.
We may take a short break here while we wait for Jim to get back.
Right, is that him coming back?
That's me calling him.
Ah. This is what I get for getting my hopes up.
It's going to be an interesting night, I can tell you that much. Nope. He hung up.
How could he hang up on us? I mean, we're the life of the party.
I think we'll take a short 5-minute break here, and we'll come back, hopefully in time for Jim to be returning. So, let me flip on the delay screen here. Please apologize while we experience technical difficulties. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Do 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 do.